Alright guys, let's cut through the noise. You want to break into remote, high-ticket sales with no money, no experience, and no clue where to start. This isn't going to be some motivational fluff. This is going to be the complete blueprint that you need. I've generated over 7 figures for coaches, consultants, through closing, sales managing, appointment setting, you name it. I'm not here to impress you. I'm just here to show you exactly what's possible. So if you follow this process, you'll know exactly where to start. You're going to have full clarity on getting into remote high-ticket closing and high-ticket sales. But before diving into the strategies, let's actually set in the foundation. If you've got a background in communication, public services, customer service, public speaking, anything where you've dealt with people, then you're already ahead of the curve. But if you're an average Joe with no experience, you're shy, you have a thick accent, then this is going to require a lot more work. So be brutally honest with yourself. Highlight what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what could I improve on, what could I utilize as an advantage? And this is going to give you an edge, but at the same time it's going to give you a foundation to work with before you even think about getting to high-ticket sales. Now the second thing that you have to take into account is you're not here to get placed. You're here to book interviews. When you're looking for a role, don't be the hunted because you are the hunter. You are looking to crush and smash these interviews. You're not looking to get placed. So that's a really good mindset shift that you have to adopt. So before you actually even get into closing, mastering the skill is very important. Get really good. Get a really good understanding of what closing is, what it involves. You know, the skills that you need, the things people struggle with, the things people make mistakes with. Get really good at that. You can watch hundreds of YouTube videos out there like this one. You don't need to splash like thousands on some guru's course, not just yet. YouTube is actually a really good one. Start with some credible names like Matthew Ryder, Jeremy Minor, there's loads of people, Luke Alexander, but make sure to avoid the noise, all right? Not all information is good information. You're gonna find some things that don't really align with what you're looking for, but at the same time, because there's so much information and you get information overload, you're not gonna know actually what is useful and what isn't. And this can get in the way, which is why YouTube is good, but it's not the best method. And the thing is, when you're new, when you're a beginner, everything sounds valuable. You're taking notes on everything. You're like, whoa, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. But this is a trap. You know, you don't want to pick up these bad habits that will haunt you later. And it's the same with things like, you know, let's use boxing, for example. You can teach yourself how to throw jabs, crosses, you know, bobbing, weaving, defending. You can teach yourself that. But if you don't have a coach, you know, you're going to just develop these bad habits that when you get in the ring, they're going to be your downfall, right? So always make sure that, yes, you take in information, but you only take what is useful. Do not start developing bad habits or doing all this fluff. Practice as well. Get a partner. This is very important. It could be anyone, your family member, your friend. Get on role plays with them. Role plays are the most powerful thing to improve your sales skills. All the good closers that I know, and myself included, we did hundreds, potentially even thousands of role plays. So always utilize that as well. It's very key. And in those role plays, rehearse your scripts, improve your tonality, refine your sales skills, because sales is, at the end of the day, it's a skill, it's not a talent. Yeah, you can have an advantage, like we said in the beginning, you can have the foundation of, you know, working in customer service, being extroverted. That is your advantage, but just because you're extroverted and you've worked a certain job does not mean that you're gonna be good at sales. Like anything else, you have to refine it. It's not a talent, guys. Come on, get that out of your head. You can be the most awkward, shy, just the absolute opposite of what a salesperson should be, and you can still get very, very good at sales, simply by just practice. But then again, practice is not enough, because think about it. There's people older than me that have talked a lot longer. Let's say they were 30 years old, I'm 20. They have 10 years on me. Why is it that some of them can't speak and they're not as articulate and they can't communicate in the same way that a 20-year-old can? Because the 20-year-old has refined, he has analyzed, he's given himself feedback. That's the most important thing in sales, especially with the role plays. Don't just role play, because there's practice and then there's feedback. Feedback is what's going to take you from an average salesperson to the best of the best. So make sure to do these 2 steps, lay out your foundation, practice the skill. Now step 3 is obviously finding the right opportunities. You can literally be the best, the most talented closer in the world. But if you're not booking interviews, how are you actually going to showcase your skill? You can't. You're literally irrelevant. So here's how to actually find high-ticket sales opportunities without spending a single penny. The first one, and the best one, guys, I'm really going to emphasize this, networking. This is the holy grail of attracting roles on autopilot. But it's not really that easy if you're starting from scratch. So unless you've invested in things like mentorships, communities, then your network is probably quite weak. However, once you break into the right circles, these opportunities come to you. I've gotten so many closing roles, so many appointment setting roles, just handed to me, just put on my table, simply because of the network that I've built. If you know the right people, you have the right connections, and you put yourself in the right circle, you are going to get roles. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how do you actually get there. The first thing I would start is obviously implementing Instagram. Instagram is like your business card when it comes to sales. If someone looks at your Instagram and you showing yourself, you document your journey, you show off your sales skills, you post short form content about what you actually know about sales, they're more likely to take you seriously. I remember actually in 2022, I ran a social media marketing agency called Viper Media. I knew nothing about personal branding then. Do you know what I did? It was horrible, it was a bunch of mistakes. I paid some random guy like $200 to make a profile picture and some Instagram posts. Little did I know, that literally decreases your authority. If you post like a sales, if you make like a sales page, closing with Jack, I don't know, that's your username, and then you post a bunch of, you know, like these carousel posts with the text on them. Let's say you only post that, no face, no personality, nothing. You're gonna be very, very untrustworthy. People aren't gonna know who you are. And closing, sales, it's all a personal game. You know, they have to see who you are, your personality, your energy, because energy is the best and the most important thing in sales. You can have very bad sales skills. I've seen it. Some closers, they have really, really basic level closing skills, but simply because their energy is so high and they're on a different vibration compared to everyone else, they were closing deals. That's literally it, energy. And you can showcase your energy through your personal brand. So start shooting professional content, start editing your pictures, make them look professional. Remove those stupid, you know, drunk pictures of your friends on Instagram. Remove pictures of your dog, remove pictures of your cat. You don't need that stuff. You need to get a personal brand showing off who you are. If you don't come across, like if someone doesn't look at your profile and says, that guy's a G, then you're not doing it right. The next step when it comes to finding the right opportunities is outreach. This is your bread and butter. If you want to get into appointment setting, this is like how you practice appointment setting. If you want to get closing role, then this is still the same thing, because one, you're outreaching, so you're developing your appointment setting skills, and you're also developing your closing skills, because when you actually get on the interview, guess what you're trying to do? You're closing the person on hiring you. So forget cold email outreach, forget all that stuff, right? Just focus on social media. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, the best 3 ones. You can do X as well, but don't really think it works. So stick to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram for now. They are literally your battlegrounds. So make sure to connect with recruiters, sales managers. Don't just message a random influencer's account who has like 300, 500K followers, because guess what? Chances are, and I've been there, I've worked from accounts like that, it's just the appointment site that's gonna view your message. You're never gonna actually reach the guy, because there's so many growth agencies out there now. They manage the account. The person actually like the face of the brand, let's say a fitness coach with 500K followers, you think he's checking his DMs? That's all outsourced. So the best tip I would give you, reach out to sales managers, reach out to recruiters, whether it's LinkedIn. On Instagram, there's lots of sales managers you can reach out to. The thing is actually finding them. And once you start getting that network, following people, they follow you back, then your mutuals are spread. So more mutuals from there start following you. That's how you gain connections. And it's like a funnel. You start at the top, there's lots of people to follow. You go down, there's less people to follow. Now more people are following you. And eventually when you get to the bottom of the funnel, it's so thin that you can squeeze out as much opportunities as you can. And most people actually overlook recruiters, but they're literally paid to find sales reps like you. So make them your allies. Some places to start off, they're more mainstream, not as low-key as Instagram, but places like LinkedIn, obviously, Glassdoor, Upwork, they're all really good sites that you can use. I've seen some good closing offers on Indeed as well, but for some of them you need a lot of experience, some of them are entry level. Just look around, right? There's loads. Make it a KPI, key performance indicator. If you want to land a role within 7 days, 30 days, whatever, reach out to 50 to 100 people a day, every single day. Make it unreasonable for you to not win. Make it unreasonable for you to not get a role. If you do this every single day, you are going to land a role. I can guarantee that. Considering you obviously do the right outreach messages, considering that you actually come across as a professional and you're not making spelling mistakes, typos, you're actually doing the cover letters when you're reaching out to professional businesses. If you do all that stuff right, then volume is the only thing that's holding you back from actually getting a role. So let's really get into the art of outreach, because this is very specific And if you don't do this right, you're just gonna be wasting your volume doing nothing because you're not gonna get any replies, you're not gonna get any interviews. There's some prerequisites that you have to handle before actually getting into outreach or even thinking about it. Like I said, optimize your profile. Do you know what's worse than having a bunch of random pictures of your dogs and your cat and your dinner and you going out with your mates on a Saturday night? It's actually having nothing on your profile. If you have no profile picture, if you have no posts, you look like a ghost. Your profile picture is a ghost town, bruv. No one is taking you seriously. Clean photos, professional bios, just look like someone that is worth hiring. Pretend you are a business owner. Think to yourself, look at your profile. Would I hire this guy? If you look like someone you wouldn't hire, there's obviously room for improvement. Now, when you actually outreach these people, crafting your message is very important. Your outreach needs to be concise. It needs to be confident and customized. Don't copy and paste because people can tell when you actually copy and paste. Show they've actually done their homework on their business. Let's say someone is, I don't know, SMMA, social media marketing agency, you want to reach out to them to close for them. There's loads out there, so these are one of the best niches to reach out to. But you can say something like, hey name, loved your recent reel about XYZ, whatever reel they posted about lead generation. Just wondering if you're looking for any commission-based closers to take sales calls for you. I know your calendar must be pretty full. Let me know if you want to jump on a call and discuss further. Just something simple. Obviously, you can change it up, split test it, but it doesn't have to be too crazy. Don't send paragraphs. I've seen people, especially appointment setters, they send so many paragraphs and it's overwhelming. Why would someone open this, right? If the first line doesn't actually grab their attention, then you're doing it wrong. You can also do the Trojan horse method, where they don't actually know what you're doing. And how do you do that? If they have mutual connection, so let's say you follow someone and they follow them as well. You can say like, hey bro, you know XYZ? Oh, you know, or how do you know this person's name? That's very good because it forces them to reply. If they open your message and it's just a whole block of text, one, they ain't reading that. Two, you just come across as someone who's desperate. Don't do that, all right? One thing as well that I've utilized, which works really well, is video outreach. Video outreach is killer because it shows your energy. It shows how you present yourself. It shows how you look. It shows how you speak. And if they can see that from the get-go and they understand that it's personalized, so you don't just copy and paste the same video to everyone. I've seen people do that with Loom videos. Now you can tell, all right? Put some effort into it because the road to hell feels like heaven, the road to heaven feels like hell. You have to put in the work, you have to get in the trenches, get your hands dirty. I know sending 50 to 100 videos a day, outreaches a day, it's long. It's long, but what are you here to do if you're not here to hustle? Would you rather just lay down, eat crisps, eat McDonald's, KFC on your couch, watching TV? Sounds nice, doesn't it? But if you're the type of person that wants to do that, then click off this video because I'm speaking to the people that actually want to get placed. Now, very, very important step. How do you actually crush the interviews? I already mentioned you have to close them. That's the whole point. Some people get in these interviews just to find out more information about the business. They don't sell themselves. If you're not selling yourself, how are you going to sell their product? All right, remember that. Because actually booking the interview is half of the battle. The other half is actually getting placed or getting passed onto the second stage of the interview or passing the second stage of the interview to get placed onto the third one or actually pass. There's loads of stages which you have to pass. It's not like interview, smashed it, let's go, because it depends on the actual hiring process. Always remember, confidence over experience. You can be the least experienced sales rep with insane energy, insane confidence, and they're gonna pick you over the one who has decent experience, but is just really shy, laid back, just really down. They're gonna pick you over him, trust me. It's all about energy. And if you're confident in yourself, and they can tell you are, and that translates into the actual call, and you obviously exude that competence, they're gonna take you. But if they really do press, then you can obviously frame prior experience. Even things like door-to-door sales, appointment setting, those are all things that you can use and you can implement. Because you don't need to be a closer to get a closing role, because how do you think closers transition from appointment setters to closers? They don't just start closing, all right? They probably went from door-to-door sales, appointment setting, phone setting, dialing, cold calling. They've probably went from there. So you can literally leverage that as your experience. Combine that with your energy and your competence and your confidence, you can absolutely crush it. So going on from this, I would say before even trying to get into closing fully, best thing you can do is start as an appointment setter. Why? Because it gives you a breakdown, an overview of how a business runs. If you understand that, one, you're gonna get a lot more clarity on how things, operate. Because another thing you have to take into account is that most companies actually promote setters to closers. That's one of the main pathways, the main trajectories that you can actually take. It's actually easier, the gateway to get into appointment setting is a lot easier than closing. And from there, you can just work your way up within a couple months, no longer than a year. And you'll still make good money, you get appointment setting results, you can build your personal brand, you can document your appointment setting journey, you can do a lot of things, All right, stop trying to get into closing and be desperate. They're gonna smell that desperation, so don't make that mistake. Now 6, this is very overlooked. When you get a closing role, don't take it for granted, all right? Hustle. Yes, you've been accepted, but it's only one half of the equation. The other half is actually performing. Make sure to leverage your early wins. Once you've actually closed your first deals, use those as leverage to move into better offers, because this is gonna give you a really big shortcut and connect you with really high quality offers. So document everything. If you got a close, screenshot it, put it in your Instagram story, create a highlight of your wins, of your results. This is very key stuff. If you don't document your journey, you don't show yourself, you put yourself out there, then you're still not gonna build a network. The more you post, remember, post. Instagram is your business card. Do not neglect it. So just to wrap things up, at the end of the day, high ticket sales is really simple. Acquire the right skills, book enough interviews, build a personal brand, perform really well, document your journey. Like the rest, I mean, most of it is literally just execution. So if you're serious about leveling up and you want guidance, there is a link below to booking a call. I've helped countless people do this, and you can do the exact same. But listen, I don't care whether you want to work with me or not, just remember, the name of the game is consistency and inputs. You have to have strategy and persistence. That's literally it. Play it right and you're never going to look back. I'll see you in the next one.